Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we are the proud owners of the YouTube Silver Subscriber Award for crossing over 100,000 subscribers, and you're the ones who helped us do it. We're currently at 106,000 on our primary YouTube channel and 36,000 on our second channel, not to mention Amazon Live, all the social media platforms, E360, Zizzle TV, on and on. So thank you so much for taking this journey with us. My name is Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck, and our show today is the Mallorca Connection. Joining me from somewhere in Europe, I don't know exactly where he is today, we have Mr. Roland-Friedl, who is a dear friend. We actually just met in person in Vienna, and he's also a serial Mantrepreneur, entrepreneur, author. He is a dog lover. He is a father. He's a human being. He's someone who advocates for men and men being able to share their feelings, get in touch with their feelings. And he's worked with some of the biggest companies in the world, like Xerox. Let's welcome Mr. Roland-Friedl to the Mallorca Connection, where we're going to be discussing our epic growth across the world. Hello, Mr. Friedl. How are you today?
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Great to see you. I'm fine. I'm fine. Great to be back. And hello to the audience. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us. Thanks for having us back.
And yes, where in the world are you today, Roland?
Today I am in Austria, in the middle of Europe, in Upper Austria, so on the border, on the north of Austria, on the border to the Czech Republic. I'm here in the countryside because in the morning I was archering. I was on an archering parkour, what we call it. I was hunting 40 3D, not real ones, 3D animals with my dog together. So this is a sport I love besides playing golf, because it really centers me and stay focused. So yeah, I'm in Upper Austria, and I'm on the road for the next 4 weeks again, through Austria, Germany, and Austria and Switzerland. Business meetings, seeing friends, and do archery. That's what I do for my vacations here.
So, Roland, you mentioned this on the other show, and I didn't really get into it. So when you said 3D animals, you're not really hunting animals. They're just props to look like animals?
Yeah, they're made of a special, I don't know, from rubber, but they look very real and quite big, you know, depending on the animal, a small rat or a huge deer or a huge lion. And you go for, like when you play golf, you go from hole to hole. So you go from animal to animal, and you always assign to number 1, number 2, number 3. You just follow the signs. And here, you know, it's a beautiful area. It's very mountaining. It's hilly. You walk through actually through forests. You always in a forest. I love forests. I love the trees, the wood, the smelling, the energy. You see real animals, of course, too, especially when you go early in the morning or before sundown. And it's very good for your cardiovascular system. You're walking up and down and up and down. You train your leg muscles. And the thing is, when you come to the target, you stop, and then you have to focus. You have to breathe and bring your breathing down, because sometimes it's really exhausting when you're climbing up. And so breathing and keep bring you down, because otherwise you cannot focus, and you're gonna hit. You're not going to hit the target. And I love it because you're outdoors, you're in nature. I can bring my dog, and actually she's without a leash with me all the time, because she's not a hunting dog. She's a guarding dog, Aloha. and she knows exactly she has to be behind my bow, so I cannot hurt her. So it's a cool stuff, and I love it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So we are shooting on 3D animals, not real ones.
I would love it if you would take some photographs of when you're out there doing that. That sounds kind of cool. Although I guess it's a lot to take charge of.
No, it's really lovely, and you walk when you're alone. You walk 2 hours at least, like at a golf course. When you go 18 holes, when you're a flight by 4, it takes longer because 4 people are shooting. And it's here in Austria, it's very popular. I mean, we're a small country. We have 9 million people. We are a very small, but beautiful country. But we have more than 300. Can you imagine? 300 venues, 300 courses where you can walk through the forest. It's a very popular sport. It's quite cheap. You buy a bow, some arrows, and you don't need a lot of stuff. And I think when you go around for 2 hours, shooting on 30 or 40 animals, it's about $13 or $14, or a day ticket is $16. You can go through 2 rounds if you want. So it's quite cheap, it's affordable, and a lot of families are going. Kids, older people, friends, women, a lot of girls are there. Business meetings, they go archery. So it's very popular here in Austria.
It sounds like fun. I'd like to give it a try, actually.
Yeah, but next time you come to Austria, we go on a sport. It's really lovely.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds great. So today we're talking about voices across the globe. We're talking about expansion. And of course, I had a vision when I started this platform, and people like you who have been loyal and true through the years and have seen where it is that I want to go have really been instrumental in putting this plan into place. And so you are our very first country manager. Let me bring up the wonderful graphic here. You're our country partner for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Of course, that could grow. But we're looking at taking our platform, which is already global. I'm not sure if we're in 40 or 60 countries, because I've seen both numbers being referenced through different sources on the internet. But we're in a lot of countries. But we want to be running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we want to be bringing on people who speak other languages than English, and they speak them fluently, so that we can incorporate other people around the world who maybe don't understand English. So tell us a little bit about the role that you are playing in this initiative.
Yeah, well, actually, I started, I guess in September. It's going to be 4 years already with USA Global TV and Radio. I was invited to a show and talk about my life. I was interviewed by John Christian about my kind of real life, the journey of my life. And then you contacted me if I'm interested in joining the team, and I said, yeah, it's a cool experience. I always love to expand my comfort zone and do something new. I've never done before. I've never been a speaker on a radio or even on a TV show. I've been on TV several times in Austria. They interviewed me because I was kind of a famous manager, the youngest member of board director in Austria. But I never liked it, sitting around in a studio and waiting. So, and now it's streaming TV. I love streaming TV. You can do it from wherever you want. And I started 4 years ago in my home in Mallorca. With my finger, and I do it from on the road. I live in my RV. So I absolutely love this platform. And that's how I started. And I did many different shows, like the Mallorca Connection. Before we had It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, I had the Wild at Heart show. I had the Talking Heads, my business show. I did about Planet Earth and stuff like that. And also jumped in when some colleagues couldn't do it, and I did interviews on other shows on the show. And I really loved it, and I love the people. I absolutely appreciate the work you're doing, Dr. Jacalyn. And it's about caring and sharing and educating people, and yeah. And then we came across it, maybe to different languages. And I remember a few months ago, I interviewed some people in German because they feel more comfortable in their mother language, not in English. And so, can we do it in German? And you said, yeah, let's do it in German. Even when it's a US or mainly an English speaking channel. So we started in German. It was a lot of fun for the people. And then we came over. I said, when you were on your Europe trip 3 weeks ago, and we met in Vienna in person for the first time, and said, okay, let's do this. As you said, actually, we already are worldwide broadcasting. But the new thing is that we offer different languages, so people feel more comfortable. There's so many people outside who have a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, really cool stories to share. but I feel a little bit uncomfortable when they cannot talk in their mother language, in German, in French, or Spanish, Italian, or Polish or Russian, whatever it is, not in English. So yeah, then we started, and my role here is focusing on the DACH region, on the German-speaking market. This is Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. We have 100 million people here in this region. And yeah, I see myself to become an advocate or an ambassador of USA Global TV and Radio, and give people the chance to share their stories and bring their own shows up, and have this incredible growth, personal growth. I was growing, and I always believe you can always learn something. You can always grow when you get out of a comfort zone, and yeah, have your own TV show about the topics that you're passionate about it, and that's what we're doing. And yeah, that's by the way, I've been talking to more than 20 people, friends of mine, because I really want to see people exclusively on the show that really have good content. They're honest people, they're loyal people, or they talk the truth and stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna start, and I'm very passionate about it, to share this opportunity to people I know, and it will come. It is a little bit challenging here, because streaming TV is not very common here, but it's coming. And actually, all of this tech stuff is mostly coming from the US. Like the internet, like social media, or community groups and stuff like that. And then the same is, I guess, is now it's time to bring streaming TV to Europe and in different languages. And yeah, I'm very happy to be part of it. And thanks for trusting me. And it's really an honor for me and a pleasure. And but I would love to ask you, Dr. Jacalyn. I mean, you started this platform a few years ago, and what was your goal or your vision? How it comes? I know you come from the corporate world, not from the media exactly. How did you start? Well, you're starting a TV show and then running worldwide.
Well, thanks for asking that. I actually got a phone call from a radio station in New York, I think in 2019. And in addition to my corporate career, I also got certified as a life, career, and executive coach. And that was not unusual for me, because I was always doing something on the side. I'm very curious and I like to learn. So they wanted to interview me. They found me on Google. They wanted to interview me about life coaching. And so they did. And then they called back the next day and said I did an amazing job. It was only an 8-minute interview or something. And they offered me a show. So I, of course, was in my ego mind, I guess, and I immediately said yes. And I paid them for the year. And so I had a slot on Fridays at 5, and it was Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, The Drive, live at 5. And so I was being interviewed by the interviewer. And then as the pandemic hit, I decided I wanted to take the show over myself, because I was really tired of the same thing back and forth. So I really started that show, Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, so that I could interview people from the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, because being a patient for all these years since 1991, I felt like I didn't have a voice, because people would never understand what's wrong with me. And they would just say, take Pepto-Bismol or do this or do that. So I wanted to interview people and give them a place where they could share their voice. And then it was booked out for an entire year. And then at the same time, I was asked to be a guest by Ashley Owens on Connect to Success at a television station that's no longer in business here in New Jersey. And I went in, and the whole time I was like this, sighing the whole time. I was so happy. And so I thought, why don't I ask the owner if I can have a show? So we had a conversation, and then I paid him for a show for a year. And so then that show was booked. And so then that's how it just seemed like people were really interested to share what they had to share with me. And then one show became 4 shows, and then people literally started contacting me from different parts in the world. Basically Heather Dean from Israel and Ian Palm Turner from London, saying that I really had something, and that they thought I could be the next Diane Sawyer, which was hilarious. But I appreciated their support. And then it just started to grow. And then people came to me and said, can I do a show with you? Can I have a show by myself? And I thought, you know what, this is no longer just a hobby or just a place to give people, from the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, a place to talk. And then that's how it started.
That's how the journey goes, You're just doing the first step. It's all about doing the first step and being brave enough and do what you're really passionate about it, and then you never know where the journey is heading to. And now we are broadcasting worldwide. We're bringing out different languages the next weeks on the channel. We're growing and growing. I guess we have now it's 60 shows a week, as far as I know, more or less. We're going to 100. The goal is 168. When we say 24/7, it's 168. So there's a lot of potential. So there's a lot of growth. I know that we hit the 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. We use Global TV and Radio. We hit 36,000 with the Dr. Jacalyn subscribers on YouTube. So we are growing and growing. But people have to understand it's not only that we have viewers on YouTube who see the recordings. We broadcast live, and people see us live on different points, like on social media and Amazon and so on. But Dr. Jacalyn, let's talk a little bit about this story is growing, the success is coming, and I joined you almost 4 years ago, since the beginning, actually before the official launch. I remember I was very surprised when they said, "Hey, there's an official launch," and I was in spring or in January. I said, "Oh, I thought it already launched." It was interesting for me. So I was in the pre-launch phase already. So from the beginning, I'm very proud of that. But I can imagine when you build up a company like this, broadcasting, and it's a little bit different than many other businesses. Like when I look at you and myself, you're in the US, I'm in Europe. We've been working now for almost 4 years together. We never met in person until around 3 weeks ago, when you've been on a European tour. We met in Vienna the first time. So what I'm asking is, when you work with different people from all over places, and people go public, they speak to another audience on your broadcasting system. How challenging is it for you to find the right people? How you deal with disappointments? People coming in, people are leaving, people stepping in, people are staying, people are staying out. How do you deal with challenges? And why not giving up?
Thank you. That's a great question. And it's interesting, because when I first started, I was really personally offended if somebody came on the platform and then they decided to leave, or if someone unsubscribed from the newsletter. I mean, I really would take it to heart. And we're not sending out newsletters like we used to, because it's just such a beast. It's so much work. And anyway, so today, all this time later, I don't get upset if someone says that they're leaving. And in fact, sometimes people will say, "I'm taking a short break and I'll be back." And I already know they're not coming back, because I could just tell. I know they have things going on in their life. There's just situations. And I think to myself, I'm glad that they were here while they were here. And now they're leaving, and it'll make space for someone else. And it obviously, I'm running a business, so there's a certain amount of income that I need to keep this business running. And of course, when someone leaves, that means that income is going out the door. But it's like any business. And what I found is that people either love this and it's in their blood, or it's just something that they're really not that committed to, and they're going to give it a try. So people like you, people like Red, people like Madeline, Caroline, people have been with me since the beginning. I mean, it's kind of in your blood. It's something that you do, and you see the value of it, and you see that you're leaving a legacy that will exist long after you're gone. What's also interesting for me when you talk about overcoming challenges is that in the real world, for example, when I leave where I live and I go out in the real world, people don't know who I am, and people typically don't care. Everybody's busy doing what they're doing. But when I was in Europe, I really felt like I was a celebrity. And I think I shared that with you. People were like, "Can I have your autograph? Can I have a picture with you? Can I have one of your books?" And it was kind of shocking. And so what I realized from that is that same momentum that we've been able to build collectively in Europe can be built in other places in the world. It's just a matter of making it a priority. So that is what I am now doing. And I want to announce, and I'm saying this from a heartfelt place because it just happened yesterday. And actually, I don't think anyone knows except for the person who sent me this, is that I am going to be honored as one of the distinguished honorees at the 100 Global Women Economic Development Icon Summit and Award Show. And it's basically honoring me for the contributions and my powerful story in historic perspectives of what I've been able to build in the media world. So that's taking place in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's later this month. And you're the first person. Well, now people are listening. They know, but I just thought to myself, that's amazing. But in my world, in the world that I live in the things that I do, does anyone really care? No, no one cares. It doesn't mean anything to anyone. But I feel like as the leader of this platform, hopefully it says something to the people who are here and who have supported me that, you know what, we are getting recognized. And the YouTube Creator Award, I think that was huge. And the fact, you know, we could have earned the award and then people just unsubscribe for some reason, but we're still going up at 106,000. So it's all organic through YouTube, and I'm just really appreciative. So thanks for the question.
Sure. Well, first of all, congratulations, and that's really amazing. Thank you. That's really amazing. Thanks for sharing that here on the show the first time. So really cool. So it's going place in this month or in August?
I'm sorry, in August. Yes, it's in August,
okay.
at the end of the month in Atlanta, Georgia, USA.
You have to show pictures afterwards. Really cool. Yeah, you really deserve it. I know it's a hell of work behind that, and I can say as a host and a moderator on your team, I can say I've been traveling the world. I've been working for the largest companies in the world as a top trainer, as a coach, and I still experience this personal growth during the last 4 years. You know, becoming a speaker. And I was always to be honest, I was always very shy in speaking. I remember in school, you know, I had this red head, my ears are burning, I was sweating like crazy, but I did it, and I was on YouTube. I was speaking on stages for 10, 15,000 people. And it's coming, but then it's different when you talk to an audience you don't see, you know, and you have just a screen in front of you. You don't see the reactions. You don't see when you're making a joke, are they laughing or not? Are they smiling? Are they going with you? Are they excited? You don't see the mimic and the excitement. So it was a different experience for me. You just talk to my screen more or less, you know. But it gave me a lot. I learned a lot about it, and I'm so happy that I got this opportunity and I stay with them. Anyway, I'm a loyal person, and I remember about 2.5 years ago I had a call. You asked me if I can jump into I don't remember what the name of the show was, but the interview was with I had to interview Ian Pelham Turner, and the topic was behind the lens, and it was a cool conversation. I guess I had some very clever questions to him, so we became kind of friends. Had some personal contact, and I asked him, "Why are you on USA Global TV Radio?" Man, he's a very famous photographer and a broadcaster. He's very famous on Sky News. He does a lot of stuff. I said, "Roland, believe me, USA Global TV will be a huge brand coming in the future." And I had the same feeling. I kind of understand it. I had the same feeling because friends of mine were saying, "Why are you doing this? Why are you wasting time on that? Are you making money on that?" I said, "I'm investing. I'm learning and investing. I know the money's coming back." And I think that's what people have to understand. When you build up something new, when you have a clear vision, a clear goal, and a strategy, you just go and you don't believe in the money. Of course, we all have to pay our bills at the end of the month, but I strongly believe that we conquer the world with this. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that I've shared this before, but when I first started and I retired from corporate, I personally put in $250,000 just to do what needs to be done. And every month, I don't even think about it. I keep putting money back in the business. As you know, now we have German intros and Polish and French, and all those things cost money for the voiceovers, the custom music, the graphics, and then for all of the visuals. So I don't even think about it. I say to myself, you know what? It's going back into the business because that's what it takes to grow. And in August, I actually have 3 trips planned. I'm going to a peace conference because I'm a peace ambassador. I'm going to Minneapolis, and then I'm going to Houston to meet our Houston team members, which is really exciting. And then I'm going to Atlanta. And somebody just said to me yesterday, and I really wanted to hang up. They just said, "Do you realize how much money you're spending with traveling?" And I said, "Yes, I do. It's part of business. That's what you do to grow the brand." And because we have so many TV show hosts here and so many people who are spending their time and money, it's incumbent upon me to get out there and to keep growing our business.
Absolutely. And you've been to Europe, you know, I mean, you have been to London, to Paris, to Milan, to Vienna. I mean, these are not the cheapest cities in Europe.
And you know, I don't stay cheap, so.
Not at all, but you do it because you love what I'm doing. And I was very happy and honored that we met in person for the first time. And yeah, so I believe that we have a great future. And that's why I stay here, because I do it, I call it part-time, you know, investing my energy and my experience and my time, because I strongly believe in this. And I think that there's a platform that so many people get a voice. I think it's about getting a voice. There are so many excellent people outside who do a tremendous job in whatever they're doing in their field, in their industry, in their brand, but they don't have a voice, or maybe they are too shy to go in front of a microphone, or they're not known. And so it's a great opportunity to talk to a wider audience, to share your stories, to share your wisdom, your experience, and you never know what's going to happen at the end. You never know. You never know. You never know.
And you know what else I think is really cool is that everybody here is an elevated listener. We actually have, I think, 5 more people who are coming on board, and we have a head of sales who's joining us. Alcini's coming back with his own show, Ahead for Business. So we have a lot of exciting things that are going on. And to me, it just confirms that people believe in what we're doing. And I know with the YouTube Silver Creator Award, when I went into the store to have it framed by now one of our sponsors, Avio Art, people know YouTube. People have been on YouTube, and when they see the number, it's interesting. They're aware of the fact that it takes a lot of effort. It's funny because recently a friend of mine went for a walk and we saw the home of this major influencer on YouTube. And he has these custom wrapped cars outside. Some of them, one of them is like a cyber truck and it's bright yellow. And then he's got a purple Jeep and orange this and a green that, and they're all in front of the house. And I'd never heard of him. And he actually has his Instagram handle on the vehicle. So I looked it up, and he has a YouTube channel. I think he has 1 million people or more who are subscribers. And he started in 2017. I think he and his brother were doing backflips or some kind of flips into a pool, and it went viral, I guess, on TikTok, and then moved people over. So that was in 2017. And so he's been doing it ever since, and making, from what I didn't meet him, he was outside, but I looked up how much money he's, I'm like, whoa. So the point being that you can build a community, and that's where it starts. So we've got the 100,000, now we're going to 500,000, then it'll be 1 million. And eventually, I think, probably in 5 years, we'll get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's the future. I guess the best is yet to come. And as I said in the beginning, also in Europe, it's coming. More and more people get used to it, to streaming TV. And because people want to watch something when they have time, and we also can do the recordings later. So it's not, you don't miss the show. And I think that people are really bored with all this mainstream media, this negative news, and people don't want to be scared anymore. They want to be inspired. They want to have positive things. They want to learn something from people who do something better than they do. Whatever field it is, maybe become a writer, become an author or an artist, or being more healthy, or being more fit, or losing weight, or want to travel, or whatever they want to do. So I think that's a really cool platform for people to learn and to inspire each other and get to know each other and connect with each other. So what we are offering here on USA Global TV Radio, Dr. Jacalyn, is that people can become a guest on one of the shows. So they can go to the website and sign up as a guest. That's one point. And I think the most thrilling point is they also become a moderator or host of their own show with their own topic if they want. And from now on, it's also possible not only in English, but also in German for the German-speaking countries. It's also available in Polish. We have a Polish colleague or a country manager. So more and more languages are coming. So people from all over the world can broadcast in their mother language and share their wisdom, their experience, and their stories in their mother language. And they also can interview guests in their mother language. So what do you think, Dr. Jacalyn? Should we start in Europe and then go to Asia, or what is your plan?
Well, it's interesting because I reached out to one of our team members, Red O'Loughlin, and he's going to be our state manager in Texas, which is amazing. And I've also reached out to one of our team members who's in Australia, and I'm not going to announce her name because she hasn't gotten back to me yet, but I've asked her if she'd like to be the country manager for Australia and for New Zealand. So I think we also have somebody who's looking at joining us for Malta. And I think we have somebody who is very well known in various parts of the world, so I'm not sure which part he's going to pick, but I'm working on it. I've got all these people out there who are interested. But what I also want to share with people is the work that you're going to be doing as the country manager. It's actually work. It's not like it's that easy. You just put a sign up on your motorhome and go, hey, do you want a TV show? Knock on the door. There's a lot that goes into it. And so as you and I working in tandem as a team, providing the deliverables that are needed, like, for example, in the Polish market, the request, and I'll put up this image, by the way, of our friend Leanne Milton, who is our new country partner for Poland. Her request was if we could have the one of the clips that we run on our break, have you ever considered being a TV show, is if we could have that in Polish. So we now have that, and that's going to make it easier for her to be able to explain to people what it is that we do. So each country manager might have something different that they feel would help. But I'd love to have you talk about what's involved actually in onboarding someone as a TV show host, because it does require work.
Absolutely. Well, what I do, I only at the beginning, I talk to the so-called warm market, to people I know personally, people I trust, people I know that they have good content, people I know that they also, there's so many people outside with a lot of experience and wisdom, but they have challenges to communicate it, to share this with people. Some people are boring, some people cannot really tell their story probably. And you mentioned something in the beginning, like Jacalyn. I think it's so important as a host, and when you're hosting a show, moderating a show, you also have to know how to listen. So that's become an elevator listener. It's all about listening and listen between the lines when a guest is talking, and then asking the right question to go deeper and deeper, so it's more interesting also for the audience. And I do it personally. So I contacted more than 20 people at the moment. I'm in contact with them. I introduced them, the concept, the opportunity to them. I said it's an opportunity. I'm not begging. It's an opportunity. I tell my own story, how I started, how I got introduced. I tell my story. I'm a storyteller. I know that people get inspired by stories and less by facts. So I tell my story. My story is quite quite interesting. I have been in the Caribbean, actually, in Paradise Island in the Bahamas, meditating for 5 weeks in an ashram. And I met a guy named John Christian, a musician. He was working with the Bee Gees. And so we stood in contact. He went to my home in Mallorca. He spent there 2 weeks with me. We traveled around Mallorca. And then he asked me, I'm running a show called The Journey of My Life. I want to interview people like you. I said, no thanks, no TV, no thanks, no, get away, I don't do this. I said, no, it's different, trust me. I said, okay, I trust you, my friend. And I asked him about it. He said, yeah, it's in the US. I said, hey, my God, I don't fly in the US for interview. No, it's streaming. I said, what the hell is streaming? You never heard about that. So he explained it to me. So I gave my first interview for USA Global TV Radio John Christian show from my home in Mallorca. And then we got in contact, and then I got involved, and and I started from there. And I had no experience, and never been on a radio show, a speaker, or a host on a TV show, or something like that. But it's personally grow, and I love this. And I guess that's what I do. I tell my friends and the people around me who do an amazing job is that there's another chance for you to grow. And this is a huge opportunity for you from the beginning, like myself, when I started 4 years ago from the pre-launch phase with USA Global TV Radio. So it's a chance for you in the German-speaking market, just in the beginning. You be there from the beginning, and if you're brave enough, and if you have discipline enough, and you really have a big picture about what can be there in the next years, stay with us. And it's up to you. So I talk about the opportunity. It's not only about sharing your experience and trying to sell products or services. It's about learning. It's about growing. It's about connecting. And I think it's a huge opportunity, and that's how I approach people. So I talk only to people I know personally, and I don't spread it of course, on social media, but only on people I know personally. And that's my approach, because for me it's also important, Jacalyn, that we bring the right people to this company, and people who really are into it, who are honest, who are loyal, and fit to the team.
And I love that. Thank you. It's really about heart-centric people that want to leave a legacy, want to give back. And I think something else that's important is I think it's important to be passionate like you are as a storyteller, and then also to be able to take the emotion out of it so that if you get rejections that you don't take it personally. It's just like, okay, thank you. I mean, you have to go through so many no's before you get to the yes. And to your point, we don't just want anyone on here. So I really appreciate the approach that you're taking.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you have to be patient. I mean, we all know that nowadays we need to, what I say, 7 to 8 touches. You have to 7 times to 8 times to touch a person about something, because there's so much on the market. There's so much opportunities, so many distractions on the market. And as I said here, people in Europe, they get used to it. What is streaming TV? Then they look at the figures and yeah, does it work here? I said, hey, I started 4 years ago. No fucking idea where the journey is going. I said, I go for it. I believe in it. I reserve 2-3 hours a week when I was running 2-3 shows in the beginning. So I reserved this time for me. Because I'm not going to bars. I don't drink or stuff like that. So that's what I do in my spare time, because I run my normal businesses and I do this in the spare time. I give it a chance and I give it a try. And for me, meaning giving a chance, giving a try is not I do it once, I do it twice, it's working or not working. For me, giving a chance is doing it a minimum 1 or 2 years, and that's how you build up a business. It's giving it a chance 1 or 2 years, and if it's not working properly, maybe you adapt something, doing something better. Maybe you join a course, becoming an elevated listener, or you study something about communication or about how to be present in front of a screen or stuff like that. And you grow and give it a chance. And I think this is what we offer people: a chance to grow, a huge opportunity. And we are not targeting people. People will come to us. I strongly believe we get the right person on board. I strongly believe that.
Absolutely. I really agree with you, everything that you've said. And I want to thank you personally for your 4 years that you've been here. And you can say to people, you were here when we had no subscribers. You were here when we weren't with distributors, when we weren't on Amazon. We were just, in fact, when we first started, I don't know if you were with me then when we first started on Zoom, we were on the radio. No, I don't think you were, because we were just doing some shows on Zoom, and we would meet with the broadcast engineer and he would take us out over the radio, but at least we could see each other. And from there, then we went on Facebook and then YouTube and then so on. And I think that John Christian came to us through Philip Chan, may he rest in peace. He was a promoter, and he said, send so many people our way. And I didn't even know who he was. I mean, it's crazy. You wonder how the whole thing, like when I look back over all the years, but I have to say this, because I think out of adversity comes something awesome. And so I never would have been able to do any of this if it hadn't been for the fact that I was taking care of my mother. And my mother has since passed away, but I was literally in the home. She had dementia, and you know what this is like being a caregiver. And because of that, I had to find something to do where I was in the house. And so that's how I was able to spend. In the beginning, I was broadcasting 10 hours a day. You remember, I was doing all the shows with people, and I was standing for 10 hours a day. And it's kind of interesting looking back over the years, because Facebook will bring up pictures from 4 years ago. I'm like, wow, look at that hairstyle. What was I wearing? I'm sure I'll be saying that about today. But it is interesting how you continue to grow, and the people who grow with you, and the people who are, what is that analogy about the tree? Some people are the roots, some people are the branches, and some people are the leaves, and they all play a role. So thank you for being a root.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Sometimes, it's hard for me, because since I'm traveling in my motorhome since more than 3 years, so I started in April 3 years ago. Sometimes it's really difficult to find a spot where the Wi-Fi is working, a spot where the police is not knocking on my door and said, you have to go away during a show. I remember it happened once. You remember when somebody was knocking on my door during a show? But and somebody said, oh my gosh, I just want to stay here in the wild and nothing to do, and I don't want to broadcast. But I said, no, it's my job. I do it. I love it. I committed to it. And when I commit, I commit. And so, yeah, sometimes it's difficult. It's, also for me, I'm very passionate about what I'm doing, but sometimes it's difficult because, I do my main job and I train people, I coach people, and then I'm really tired. And I said, oh my gosh. And then I ran 2 shows. And I said, no, I do it, because afterwards I feel proud of myself. I did it. And I know I have something to share what could be interesting for other people. Okay, maybe it can be a game changer or make a difference in somebody's life. And that's my goal with USA Global TV and Radio, is support you and support the team, and with my content, maybe it can make a difference in someone's life. And this makes me happy. Yeah.
That's a great point. Thank you for that. And I do appreciate how seriously you take it. Not everyone does. Most people do, but we have some people, something comes up at the last minute. I broke my nail, I have to cancel. Okay, fine. But for most of us, this is something that's part of what it is that we do. And I know for me, with my health, that comes first. I'm every day, what am I doing to work out? How many workouts am I getting in? And of course, I spend so many hours. I mean, most of my waking time is on this platform. That's how much I love it. Looking for ways to grow. Even the back end, the administrative piece, that could be an entire probably week of shows just going through what I have to do on the back end. And of course, we have people on our team doing search engine optimization. I have a company that does social media marketing. I do my own as well. I probably spend 3 hours a day just on social media marketing, researching, creating. So, it's very involved, but that's part of what it takes. You have to be committed, and you have to be able to trust people like you who are going to help us continue to grow this in areas that we haven't been involved in so far. So thank you again, Roland.
You're welcome. I really love doing it. The day was challenging, by the way, a short story. So I left my aunt's home at 6 in the morning, and I did some grocery for it. And I went back to home, brought the grocery, and then I continued my trip. I came here for archery. So I paid the price, and then I went on the course, and then it was really heavy. And by the way, last Sunday I bought a new bow, and bow, the power you have is in pound. So I have a bow that's much stronger. It's 25% more in power. So you need more muscles and more strength in your upper body, in your shoulders, and your chest. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I went on this course, and I shot more than 40 animals. And I got more and more tired and more and more tired. My muscle haven't been used to this power. I said, oh my gosh, and I want to really shoot good. So you have to hold it. It's very heavy. And you have to hold it and then target your goal. Anyway. So I did it. And then on the last 4 animals, it heavily started raining. Hell. So we finished it. So it started raining. I said, I'm wet anyway, so let's finish it. I guess my dog was a little bit pissed off, but I said, let's finish it. So we finished it in heavy rain, and then we went back to the motorhome. Everything wet, under my underwear. Everything was wet. I was tired. I had a lot of pain in my shoulder. I said, oh my gosh. In 2.5 hours, I have to do 2 shows on USA Global. How can I do that? So I said, okay, I bring up, so I fed Mallorca, I ate something, and I said, you know what? I go for a nap. I will sleep for an hour. I go for a sleep for an hour. I sleep because I want to be fit. I want to be fit and fully engaged when I'm back on the show. And then I build up my studio here. Actually, that's the most difficult for me. The thing is building up the studio and stuff like that. I did it because I really was very looking forward for these 2 shows we did today. The Eat Your Healthy Lifestyle about keto diet, and here about bringing USA Global to be on the globe, but sometimes it's challenges. But the point is, and that's what I want to tell our audience, is when it's challenging, and sometimes you have the feeling, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. There's a reason, because your subconsciousness says, no, don't do it, because maybe you're going to be successful. So that's my thing. When I have this inner voice that says, no, I don't want it. I'm tired. I want to do this and this. So, okay, no, now I do it because it's a purpose, and I go for it. And afterwards, I always feel good and proud about myself. That's what I want to share.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. That's really meaningful. And before we close out, I just wanted to share something also. I happened to see on LinkedIn earlier today, if anyone's familiar with Barbara Corcoran, she posted something, and she's on Shark Tank. She's one of the investors, and apparently they didn't pick her. And I'm paraphrasing from what I read. So it is on LinkedIn. And they didn't select her. I think immediately they had her as a backup. So she decided to write a letter about the reasons why they should pick her. And she said, she gave them the reasons, and then they selected her, and her life changed from that moment. But had she not written that letter, who knows where things might be. So that's what I'd like to encourage people, to walk through the door of opportunity, because you don't know where it's going to go. And for example, I had a meeting yesterday. I was kind of tired. There was banging upstairs. I don't know what they're doing, some kind of drilling. And so I decided I really didn't want to go, but I thought, you know what, maybe the appointment have to go. So I went, and it was really valuable. And that's the whole point, that if you don't go, if you don't show up, you don't know what you're missing.
Absolutely, I can absolutely refer to this. By the way, it happened to me, to my German speaking book, the same. I remember before I was heading to Sicily, I met a publisher, or I hired a book agent in Austria. And he said he's going to talk to 10 publishing houses, and the first publishing house, I sent him an expose, and he emailed the expose, and 40 minutes later came back and said, Roland, the first publishing house said yes, they're going to do it. So I met this publishing house and said, yes, we're going to do this. So I left to Sicily, and I thought everything is fine. The agent and the publishing house are communicating. So I went to Sicily, and we agreed that when I come back in April, I gonna sign the contract. So when I come back in April, I called the publishing house, and they said, no, we're gonna publish it. We don't do it. I said, well, I thought it was 6 months on. I said, no, we don't do it. And I was a little bit down. And a very good friend of mine, she said, Roland, don't give up. So I called the guy. And I talked to him, the owner of the publishing house, and I said, no, I don't know, blah, 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 but we can meet. But we're not publishing it. So we met later. Actually, he contacted me. So we met for breakfast. We had a nice small talk for 40 minutes, and then we talked about a book. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I invited him for archery. We went barbecuing, and now the book is coming. And it's the same story. It's about never giving up. If you get a no, try it again. And yeah. It's all about not giving up. If you have a dream, don't giving up, because if you give up, it was never a dream. It was a nice to have.
Exactly. And I'll share one more thing. I see we're over time, but I was looking at flights for one of the trips that I have coming up, and there are no nonstop flights. And I thought, you know what? I don't know that I'm going to do this. I don't want to do a stop, a layover somewhere, because it just seems like such a waste of time. And I thought, maybe there's a couple of other people I can meet while I'm there, people I just met recently and don't really know. And I reached out, and hello, they're available. So now it makes sense. So the point is, what is the solution? Look for the solution. What is your why? And yesterday I mentioned, I always work out at the end of the day. I'd already done my weightlifting class, and then I went to spin. I just did spin the day before, and I was dragging. And I'm always in the front row, because I'm in the front row of everything I do, because you have to push yourself. You can't hide. And I think a lot of times people are in the back hiding, and I'm not judging them, but I was really tired. And I thought, you know what? You're in the front row. You pick the front row. You reserve this bike because you are an example. So you're going to have to suck it up and pull yourself together. And I did. And afterwards, I was like, I'm really tired. But the point being, I showed up for myself. And that's what I really want people to remember. Show up for yourself, because somebody's probably watching, and you're probably inspiring someone.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing this. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for spending the extra time with me today. I really appreciate it. What would you like to close out the show with today, Roland, in addition to how people can become part of this epic journey that we're on?
Yeah, so if you get inspired, maybe you want to do it in English or in Polish or in German, especially when you want to do it in German, when you German background, maybe you're from Switzerland, Austria, Germany, contact me on my email address. It's office@roland-friedl.com. You're more than welcome. Then we are going to have a chat about your drivers, about your goals, why you want to be engaged with USA Global TV and Radio, what you want to talk about, and stuff like that. And then we find out if we're a good fit together, and then we take it from there. So feel welcome if you feel inspired by the shows, and maybe it was a dream about becoming a TV presenter, maybe not, but maybe you said, hey, it's a cool opportunity to spread my personality, my person, my business. Yeah, just show up, and we take it from there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Roland. I really appreciate you. And we'll be rolling out the new German intro, and people will be able to see that on all of our platforms. That will probably be available later today, if not tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Really do appreciate it. If you are over on our YouTube channels, if you could please subscribe, it would mean so much. This way you can be kept in the loop about all of our programming, especially our legacy programming and also our new programming that's coming in other languages. And also we have programs that are in English as well that are going to be brand new and coming on board. So please do subscribe. And otherwise, I'd like to just say thank you to you for your support and your loyalty through the years. The best is truly about to come. Now we're going to go over to some of our sponsors, and I thank you for being here with us, and we'll be back with some more shows in a little while. Bye for now. USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram-Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to tracycramperkins.com. Tracy Cram-Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
In a world craving connection, one platform dared to dream bigger. USA Global TV and Radio, a beacon for global voices, authentic storytelling, and elevated listening. Led by visionary Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck, the journey from a spark to a global force is now captured in one inspiring book. Honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. Discover the evolution, the challenges, the triumphs, and the unstoppable spirit that created a global movement. Executive producer Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck, music score by Yeffy Tang, creative director Paul Garcia. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Now an Amazon #1 new release in paperback and ebook. Broadcasting Brilliance, the evolution of USA Global TV and Radio, is inspiring readers around the world. Join the movement that's redefining global media one story at a time.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Steve Klein Art at steveklein.art.
My name is Steve Klein, born Manchester, England, 1953. My quest in my lifetime is to create artwork from my soul and the deepness within my wildest dreams and fantasies. In 2012, my heart stopped when I was given too much anesthetic for a minor knee operation, and this near-death experience took me to another multi-dimensional world, an out-of-body experience, and I was given the gift of being blessed by an overwhelming, burning passion to become, for the very first time in my life, an artist with an eternal, passionate desire to bring my art, which I've named multi-dimensional, subliminal, freeform art, to the world, as only 3% recover from what I experienced. And now in my golden years want to release my cosmic, vital energy through my art to allow people to be a part of my cosmic dance.
To learn more, email roccogoodwine@gmail.com. For VIP pricing, mention USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.